Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Unfuck Your Money podcast, the podcast where soul meets strategy and we heal our money wounds from the inside out. I am your host, Nadine Zamot, your trauma informed money coach, somatic guide, and fellow survivor of all the financial patterns that we're about to unlearn together today. Welcome back to this new episode, an episode that I have been waiting for so long to create. So, if you were the kid who had to grow up too fast, maybe you were praised for being independent, calm, helpful, wise beyond your years. Maybe you handled emotional burdens, your parents' depression, stress, volatility. Maybe you were the one translating paperwork, handling conflict, cooking dinner, holding it all together as a child. If this is you, hi, me too. I created this episode just for you. This isn't just a tough childhood. That is called parentification, and it absolutely shapes how you relate to money today. Parentification happens when a child is put in the role of a parent. The parentified child wound shows up when you had to be the adult way too early, both emotionally, financially, and even physically, actually. Because from a very young age, maybe we manage our parents' moods, maybe we handled too much responsibility, we did way too many chores than we needed to, or well, not we needed to, but that we were, for the appropriate age, really. And at the end, we were praised for being so strong and so mature. Here's the kicker: this wound doesn't just disappear, it will shapeshift into your financial life later in life. It turns into chronic overgiving, chronic over responsibility. Maybe you overgive with your work and in your business, rescuing clients, feeling obliged or guilty when you receive something. You might even feel too scared of asking for help when you desperately crave it. With time, us parentified children, we will learn that we need to make our needs secondary, while everybody else's well being comes first, before our needs even. So, what we do is that we learn subconsciously how to silence our needs and wants and even silence our boundaries. A few decades of all of this will most certainly reinforce a sense of self abandonment. It causes a disconnection from our true selves. Personally, from a very young age, I had to take care of my siblings. I was the eldest of the family. The parentified child doesn't necessarily have to be the eldest in the family. I've seen it happen with clients who are the middle or even the youngest. But for me, I had to take care of my siblings. I had to manage my parents' emotional or mental health. Both, actually. I had to take on lots of responsibility, like cooking and cleaning and helping my brother with his homework, then tend to my own homework. I had to be the emotional support system for my mother. I always joked around and said that she's actually my first coaching client at age 16. I had to break up fights that happened between my parents. I had to protect my siblings from hearing these fights or even knowing that they existed. All of this took such a toll on my mental and emotional health because as a child, I never wanted to rock the boat. I knew that my parents were going through a lot, and I always put immense pressure on myself to be perfect so I don't disappoint or upset parents. Um, for my clients, I mean, for me, for my clients, we had to take on this role for many, many different reasons. Maybe that you had a single parent and your parent had to work all the time and you had younger siblings. That happens a lot with my clients. For me, I had to take on this role because my parents were fighting all the time. Um, other clients, they took on this role because um you know a parent was sick. One of their parents, a parent was at work and the other parent was sick all the time, like chronically ill, so they had to take on this role. So it's not about blaming the parents here, it's about really naming what is happening, and that is why I'm talking about this for now. And of course, as we go on in this episode, I will be breaking down how exactly you can release yourself from the parentified child wound. Okay, so the thing is, when you're parentified, especially in my case, we never got to be children because we were always worried or concerned about everything, about other people's well-being. For me, I was very hyper vigilant and very hyper aware of my parents, what my parents needed, that I would provide it to them even before they asked, just to keep the peace. I was always blamed when things went wrong, and things went wrong a lot, and I was expected to take responsibility for everything at home. So that's the unspoken rule for us children who had to grow up too fast. Your needs don't matter. Keep the peace, keep the adults functioning. And here's what happens: we grow up learning that love is earned, that our value is earned through caretaking and through putting everybody else first. Honestly, I have always struggled with this fear that I have of being vulnerable. Even in my romantic relationships, I never felt safe enough to be vulnerable because I always had to be the strong one, the protector. So if things were to happen to me, in life, such as life, right, I would never tell my partner that I'm going through a rough time, because that's not my role. My role is to be strong, my role is to protect. So it was always frightening for me to be intimate or to even admit that I'm going through a rough time. So we learn that our value is in our ability to be useful, helpful, and available, even if it comes at the expense of yourself. And all of this manifests as money blocks. The parentified child wound can show up in our life, in our finances, in many ways. Some ways can be I don't know, we despise authority. We are always scared of doing something wrong or doing something imperfectly. At work, in our intimate relationships, in our friendships, and in our relationships, we over deliver and undercharge. We undervalue our offers at work because we feel responsible for our clients' outcomes or the well being of our colleagues. We keep bailing people out financially, emotionally, and energetically, and we feel guilty if we don't. We avoid investing in ourselves because we've internalized the belief that our needs come last. We spend emotionally to soothe the inner child that never got what she needed at the time. We sabotage our income goals because success makes us feel selfish or disloyal. We struggle to rest because everything might fall apart if we stop. It shows up as burnout because after all is said and done, after we've over delivered and overed everything, over delivered, over gave, worried about everybody else, we are left with zero energy and zero time for us, for ourselves, right? Like when we're trying to be perfect and overdo, that is really exhausting, and that will lead to burnout. And when we're burnt out, we're not taking care of our finances. I know a lot of clients that are so burnt out from people pleasing, from making sure that they're perfect in everything that they do, that even if they have a fridge full of food, they would deliver just because would deliver. I mean, like they would order takeout, they would order delivery just because they don't have the energy to cook at the end of the day after all of the overdoing and over delivering that they've been doing. And this is a big one for coaches. We feel responsible for our clients' results and sometimes even their emotions. This isn't just a mindset issue, it's a somatic pattern rooted in our nervous system. And it goes without saying, but here I am, I'm going to say it anyway, it's not your fault. Now, let's talk healing. Let's dive into how to start releasing this wound. So, first things first, when we are conditioned to focus on everybody else's needs, learning how to plan for your own future, for your own rest or joy with money can be a huge learning curve. This is why I am going to say it now. I'm going to say it right now. Consider this as your invitation to join my 10-week mentorship program, Money Magic. Yes, it's a great program, but why am I mentioning it right now? It's because I know that you are great with responsibility. I know that you're amazing in a crisis. You're probably the one everybody calls when shit hits the fan, but you don't get a prize for being emotionally overfunctioning and financially under-resourced. There's no gold medal for being the one who always have to hold it all together. This is why right now I'm telling you there is a way for you to do it with me if that feels right for you. Consider this in your invitation to stop doing it all on your own. Maybe you have reached a stage where you don't need more do-it-yourself tools. This wound really requires deep witnessing, nervous system rewiring, and an aligned money strategy in that exact order. This is exactly the kind of work that we would be doing together in my 10-week one-on-one Money Magic mentorship. We're not just fixing your numbers, we're healing your inner world so that your outer world will finally catch up. This is where you will stop overgiving, undercharging, and emotionally overspending and start receiving without guilt. Inside of the Money Magic Mentorship, you and I will also work on the nuts and bolts of money, where you leave my program just after 10 weeks with a brand new relationship with your finances. Because we really need to balance the magic and the logic of money. You cannot fix a nervous system wound with spreadsheets and strategy. And let's name this too. Breaking free from this wound is not about just doing the emotional work. We need to balance it out with the strategic work. And also, it's not about blaming your caregivers. I said that earlier in the episode. It's not about blaming our caregivers. It's not about like getting stuck in patterns of blaming other people. We need to, okay, I'm going to get into it now. How to unfuck this wound. First of all, acknowledge it. Acknowledge that maybe so far this episode has been hard to listen to. It's been hard for me. I mean, it took me a year of drafting my ideas just to put my thoughts together and create this episode. And I feel like emotionally backed up just by talking about this stuff. So acknowledging that we have this wound, saying it clearly. I was put in roles I was never meant to carry. You were put in roles that you were never meant to carry. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge that you never had a childhood. Acknowledge that what you went through was unfair, without blaming the caregivers, though. Okay? It wasn't their fault. It wasn't your fault. But now it's your responsibility to heal. The second step is to learn to separate responsibility from love. Love does not equal to caretaking. Your clients, your friends, your lovers, your community, they don't need you to self-abandon. Look, you are a naturally born leader. You've been the leader of your family since you were a child. Okay? What your people need right now from you is your grounded, nourished leadership, not self-abandonment. Step number 3 is to reparent yourself financially. Ask yourself pretty much every day, what does my inner child need to feel safe with money? Is it structure? Is it a cushion? Is it rest? Is it clearer boundaries around giving and receiving? Perhaps even building a system that nurtures you and your nervous system will actually be what does it for you, right? Like having a really good system, a cash flow system, has given a lot of clients a lot of ease and peace in their nervous system. Create safety to receive. That's step number 4. Create safety to receive. You are not betraying anyone by choosing ease. You are not selfish for wanting to be resourced. You are not abandoning others by no longer abandoning yourself. You practice receiving without guilt, starting small, starting with receiving your breath, starting with looking in your life, where would you like to receive support? And actually ask someone to help you and let them help you. Don't be like me. No, I'm getting better at this. Like I ask for help and I allow whoever I'm asking to actually help me. Because when we allow people to help us, we are giving them the opportunity to give us, which is a really beautiful, healthy giving and receiving cycle in itself. Number 5 is please do the somatic work, because this wound isn't just in your head, it's in your body. Your nervous system needs to learn that it's safe to rest, it's safe to let go, it's safe not to be a parent anymore. That's what I usually would guide you through throughout my somatic work. Okay, if you're ready for that layer, come and find me. Doing this work changed me. Just these 5 steps that I just shared with you now, it changed me. And when you do this work, you will stop feeling resentful when your boss, your clients ask for extra support, because you're no longer leaking energy. You have really good, healthy boundaries. You stop pricing your offers based on your value, not on your guilt. You stop avoiding money and start building it with boundaries, with clarity, and with calm. And for the first time ever, money starts to feel like a supportive relationship, not a test that you're constantly failing at. And here's what I want you to know, my love. You were never meant to hold everybody else's emotions. You were never meant to hold everybody's emotions. You were never meant to hold everybody's financial responsibility of everybody or their future in your tiny hands as a child. You don't have to keep this happening right now. It's safe to step out of the rescuer role. It's safe to build wealth on your own terms. It's safe to say, I matter too. You don't have to earn your way into rest, into softness, or into support. You're allowed to be held. If this episode hit you right in the heart, I want you to know you're not alone. And if you're ready to stop overfunctioning and start receiving, come and book a call with me. Let's talk about my 10-week Money Magic Mentorship. We can go into the nervous system during that program. We'll talk about your lived experiences, your money story, and we'll alchemize all of this into strategy, into structure, and into actual cash flow. This is where healing meets practical change. No more band-aid tips, no more trying to fix it alone, because I see you and I've got you. Apply using the link in the show notes. If your shoulders just dropped down a notch, your heart is opened up, trust that. Trust your body knows, and trust that maybe your body is asking for the next chapter of your life. Because money isn't your enemy, it's a mirror. And when you change how you see yourself, everything it reflects starts to shift. Thank you for listening to the Unfuck Your Money show. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone else that you know is also done with being the strong one and is ready to be supported. Until next time, thank you so much. Take care.